Good evening and welcome to the Town of Easton Taxation Aid Committee. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 5:35. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on eCat. To use Zoom, you will need the link on the agenda or download the Zoom application at zoom.us and create an account, or use one of the call-in numbers listed on the agenda. You will need the webinar ID if joining by phone only. While conducting meetings remotely, we will endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. However, use of this platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. While board members and commissioners and applicants will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as an attendee, meaning they are muted with no video feed from them. During the public testimony portion of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by using the raise hand function found under the participants from Zoom, or make a request with the Q&A function. If joining only by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. If an applicant wishes to display materials, please make the request of the chair and email materials to the board staff for sharing on screen. When starting testimony, please state your name and address for the record. There is a markup function in Zoom which will allow you to call out specific areas of your presentation. As in any public meeting, indecent behavior will not be tolerated, and anyone who abuses the use of the meeting platform will be terminated from the meeting. Business will be handled at all times indicated on the agenda. Business not concluded in the allotted time will be tabled to the end of the meeting to allow for timely logons and remote attendance. Board members are asked to announce themselves when making a motion and second, so that it be clear to the audience and minute takers who made motions. All votes will be by roll call. When all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signaling the end of the meeting and termination of the ECAT recording. All participants will be disconnected from the webinar at this time. Applicants will join the webinar as an attendee and will be promoted to panelists at the time of their agenda item. Applicants will then be able to share their screens and present their materials. As much as possible, presentation materials should be provided beforehand and loaded into permit eyes, so that materials can be included on the public record. All right, so item 1 on the agenda for tonight's meeting is to approve the meeting minutes from March.
I would vote to approve those minutes as written.
Okay, I second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Do we have to do a roll call?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Andrew Fleischer, aye.
Hawks, aye.
Cometa, you're muted. If you could.
Do I have to vote? I wasn't in the meeting.
Yeah, you're just approving. This is just to approve the minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just wondering.
That's okay.
Yeah,
All
but I did get the minutes, so.
That's the important part.
Right.
So, all right. Next item on the agenda. Timeline and application process for second round of applications. So, some things have been happening over the past couple of months through our meetings or between our meetings, and we've had various people on and off of our meetings. So I am just going to give a quick recap as to what the situation is, because I honestly can't remember who's been on what meetings. So we have applied or the town has applied on our behalf for the use of ARPA funds in order to grant money similar to the other processes in our committee, to grant money for people to pay their property taxes. So we had thought that we would be able to begin the round of applications earlier, but we were told to hold off during a review from the county. That has since been approved, and so Linda had sent that. I hope I sent that to everybody. Linda sent it to me, and I meant to forward it along. So we have been, I just want to choose my words carefully because it's not our money, but we have been granted $50,000 to award to eligible citizens of Easton for use of the funds for the 2022 property tax year. Did I get that all right?
I believe so.
So, okay, thank you. So in short, what we're meeting today is to see how, since the year is almost over, how quickly we can get these grants awarded, and set up an application process, review applications like we did in the winter/fall, and approve them. So we want to do this in short order. Linda has indicated, at least to me, that while the amounts may have already been paid, we can still give the grants to the individuals, and it will apply to their account, I would assume, as a credit that they can use in future years. So that is my 2-minute recap. On the timeline for the application process itself, Linda, you had come up with a timeline. Do you want to share that with us?
Well, I was just, when I was sort of, I took the liberty of reviewing the application that we had used previously, kept all of the income limits the same. And I think that if we can get the word out very, very quickly, and I'm prepared to send letters by the end of this week to various, a segment of the population, then if we ask for applications to be due by May 27th, we can schedule our meeting here. We can schedule another meeting for early June, and that gives us, or actually, let me see, probably the second week in June. After May 27th, I'll disperse the applications to everybody. You can review them on your own time. We can get back together in June, discuss them, vote on them, and then we can have checks cut before June 30th that I can apply to people's accounts. And that is tight, but I think that it is better than not using the money at all, just to make an attempt.
Right. The only reason I was going to try and the only reason I was suggesting hesitating was if we could use this in the upcoming year, but I agree. We owe it to the town to get this out as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just noticed on my thing too, let me see, notification of committee's decisions will be mailed by June 10th. So that, it only gives us, I think there's 2 weeks there. I need my little, in between May 27th and June 10th is 2 weeks. So during that 2-week period, which is essentially the first 2 weeks in June, maybe we could get together, discuss the applications, make decisions, and then I could send out letters to the successful applicants by June 10th.
Okay.
It's tight. It is tight. but
So so we would have to meet then. I'm just
either
looking at a
the
calendar.
week of May 30th or the week of June 6th.
So
And
probably,
I can even amend the letter so that it says on or about June 10th. You know,
yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to hold me to that.
So I would think that what we would probably try and do is we'll say that the applications are open starting April 27th, which is tomorrow,
Yep.
through May 27th.
Yes.
And I would set a goal for ourselves to meet on the 2nd. That's the later agenda item. But I
Okay.
think that's probably a good day.
Yep.
And that will give us a full, assuming we didn't have any hangups on the 2nd,
Yeah.
which may happen, and we may
Yeah.
have to meet the next week. Then we could send out letters on the 10th. That's tight, but I think
Yep.
a month for applications, considering we're only 2 months away from the end of the fiscal year, is good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that if we, well, not target, because you're not supposed to target people, but we do have available to us lists of people. For instance, I already have a list of people who got exemptions this year. There's the list of people. I've been keeping a handwritten list of people that I speak to who call me for tax collection reasons. And I say, just be on the lookout for a letter from the town sometime in the near future about this possibility, and fill out the application and get it back to me. So I think that those people, I think the word has begun to get out.
Okay.
You know,
So
and I don't know if Corey has an address list that, you know, would be duplicating some of the people, but and not everybody who gets an exemption is going to meet our criteria. Not all of them are low income or elderly. Some of them are veterans, you know, and Corey his list is going to be heavily, you know, in that. Although, wait a minute,
before
because we can be veteran, we can, the taxation aid fund, does that also do veteran?
No, it's elderly and
Elderly and
disabled.
disabled. Okay.
Disabled
all right.
is the other
All right.
qualifier.
I actually, the list I was referring to is actually Chapter 115 recipients who are within this eligibility criteria financially.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
Yep.
from the first round of applicants, none of them were my Chapter 115 homeowners. The small amount of them that are actually homeowners or property owners, they're mostly widows of veterans, but
Yes.
they meet our eligibility criteria. So that would be who I can go down my list, narrow it down to those who actually own property, and you know, mail out to them as sort of a prompt for them to look at it if they're interested.
Yep. And I think my list is maybe, I'd have to look at it. It's about a couple hundred people long, something like that. You know, but at least it's outreach. You know,
Yeah.
it's at least getting it into all the different neighborhoods, and maybe people will talk it up a little bit. And if nothing else, we're getting a good running start for next year.
Yeah,
So,
right.
So
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
I am done.
Okay. The just on the topic of the timeline, because I have some questions about the letter, but on the topic of the timeline, and I saw the application that you had sent. Does that is the only thing you updated on this essentially the dates? I looked it over and it looks like the same.
the dates, and there was, I began to highlight that it was having difficulty. I should have just marked up a copy and sent it over that way. Ba, ba, ba. Hold on one second. Let me just see our old.
I'm just gonna share my screen
Okay.
just so that everyone can see the application. So that is in 2 days.
So, I added like a word up at the top, the round 2, I think I added, because
Yep.
I wanted to keep this separate from regular taxation aid committees application, like the fund itself. So, yeah,
Yeah,
dates. There's a thing in the number B, it says, application process, that tax aid grants will be awarded annually. I took that out
Okay.
because I didn't want this to be confused.
Yeah, this is the version you had sent, so I don't know if you updated it.
Oh, that is the version that I sent?
Yes.
Oh, I should take that out of there because I don't
believe so.
I don't like that in there. Do you?
No, let's strike that for
All right.
sure. Let me see if I can.
I mean, I don't know if it's the worst thing to leave that in, just so that, you know, maybe we're reaching folks for the first time with the second round and we want them to know that we award them annually.
Yeah.
Just
We could add the word at least annually. No less than annually, something like that. I wouldn't be opposed to some mention either on the application of the ARPA funds in general, to let people know that this is for us specific to the ARPA funds.
the letter itself, since this specific round is ARPA funds,
Yeah.
the letter makes good mention of it, I think is a nice thing.
Yeah.
And this application could also reiterate that. But in the future, not all, I mean, ARPA funding runs out in December 24. So
Yeah.
we separate, we need to keep separate because there's different rules, as we're all aware.
And I think that's why it would be good. I mean, I think the most people will probably will probably get the letter, but I'm hoping to reach others as well. So I think it would be in our best interest to just mention ARPA with this round specifically.
I can put it up at the top in the header where it says round number 2. I can just put ARPA in parentheses after that.
Yeah.
That would be good.
That's literally all I'm looking for.
Okay.
And the
supported by ARPA funding or whatever, ARPA funding.
Supported by federal ARPA funds. How does that sound? Supported, or that's as best as I can put it, because it's kind of funded that way, but it isn't. I'm gonna stop sharing because I lost the document somewhere.
This specific round is only possible because of ARPA. So I think it's nice to mention, because, you know, I know, you know, Connor and his office put out, and we all share on the town website and everything, what the phases are that are being rolled out. And there's obviously the survey and everything, but there are so many residents who are just not aware that this money is available in our community and that we're actually using it, you know?
Yeah. And that's the challenge. So,
right. Oops. All right. So I can do that. I'm not sure why I've got an odd space in here, but that's all right. So I can add those words at the top, and then I've changed it to the 2021 federal tax submission.
Right, so now they're gonna
Uh,
give their most recent taxes, which are different than the
Yes.
original application.
Yes.
What about,
It, in number C, I think I took a sentence out over here. The taxation aid grant will be, let me see if I, the award, I changed the words in the, under C, the second bullet point, used to say the taxation aid grant will be deducted from your real estate tax bill and will not exceed the real estate tax liability. In this particular case, because of it's so late in the year, it's assumed that it's going to exceed, all of them are going to exceed their income, their real estate tax liability,
oh, okay,
because all of them will probably already have paid their real estate taxes, except for a couple of in the most dire circumstances, which I think there will be a couple. So, so I did change the language there to
so I'm
read.
sorry if I missed this and whatever, but how are they being paid then?
So we're gonna, I think the easiest thing to do would be to make a check payable to the, stepping back a little bit, this is coming out of ARPA funds under the heading of direct household assistance. So there is the feeling that these are checks that should be made payable directly to the people.
Okay,
But because we're the taxation aid committee, I
Yep.
thought it was also important that we emphasize payment of taxes. So in order to sort of make everything work happily, and in trying to keep in keeping with our charge, which is taxation aid committee for low income and senior people and disabled people. I'll have the checks made payable to the applicant or the town of Easton. And that originally I was going to have them all come in and sign them over to the town, but too much of a hassle when you're talking about people who could be housebound or not really able to get around very easily. So, so if I do it to them or the town, I can just stamp the back of the check, for deposit only into our own account. I'll deposit it into our own account, just like I did with the other ones. And then I will actually pay their taxes with the check that's been
Now,
made payable.
do they?
And
so
if it
say the-
exceeds it, there'll just be a credit on their account.
And if they've already paid their taxes, it will come up as a credit and I would like to address that in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Because I need to know how you guys feel about what you want me to do about those.
So, quick question on what you just explained, Linda. So a check will actually be issued and mailed to the applicant.
Not to the applicant. I'll just take
Okay.
the check. I'll take it
Okay,
back.
good. My concern would have been, what if it never makes its way back to the
Correct.
collector's office,
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I have to be honest. There is no concern of that in the town, because the funds are designed for direct payment to people. The feeling is that if these were just checks written out to people and sent to them, great. I personally believe that is a little bit more than what this committee is designed to do. I think it's a little bit outside of our charge, but if you guys don't have a problem with it, I certainly don't have a problem with it.
So
Yeah.
I think we're straddling the line of ARPA fund guidelines and our charge as a committee.
Yep.
And there's a Venn diagram, right? Like in grade school. There's a Venn diagram in grade school, and we have to stick to the middle. We have to stick to the middle of the Venn diagram on this.
Yes.
So I think that what you said about how doing the checks that way, where you write them out to both people, both the town and the people, and then put it in the account, I think that serves both purposes. I think if we were to send them to individuals directly, I understand that would be fine under the federal guidelines. I don't know that exactly serves our purpose as a committee.
Correct.
Right.
So I think doing it the way you described, I think that's perfect. I think that's the best way to do it.
I,
Good.
I think so. So, but just to finish up this application, I think that was about the only, except for dates. I added this sentence, then the award will be made payable to both you and the town of Easton, and I'm gonna change that word to I'm gonna say,
Okay.
and the town of Easton, and the check will have to be, all right, so maybe I should change this.
Yeah,
The award will be made payable to both you to,
Could you say the award will be applied to your tax bill account or your,
actually, no, I think that we can just
Yeah,
leave it
property
just like
tax.
that, actually. Because it is gonna be made payable to them in the town of Easton, and signing over the check, although it reads like you have to sign it over, my stamp is as valid as a signature. So, my stamp that says for deposit only is as valid as a signature is. So really, it is being signed over to the town, so that it can be deducted from your fiscal year 22 real estate. I think that actually that statement is accurate. Unless you want me to change it, but I think that is accurate by itself.
I think that works. Do you, so with the first application, we voted and approved it. Do you, have you been making edits? Have we been talking? Do you want to either share it or circulate it to us?
Yeah, I can. Let me just change one more thing, because I'm going to say notification will be mailed to all applicants on or about.
Because what I would,
June.
because what I would like to do right now is I share it. I can read over it since we just kind of, pieced it all together in draft form.
Do you want me to share the, like screen share it?
Yeah, see if you can.
Hold on. Now you're challenging my technological skills.
You can always email it to me.
All right, do you see that? Do you see me moving it?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, wait, I don't know what's wrong with that. Please hold.
Yeah, it's probably just the,
Oh, and you want to know, hold on, I know why. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second,
sure.
because what it is I'm still in edit mode. Oh, I see. Oh, well, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, so while you're fiddling around with
Yes.
that, what I would like to do is we'll go over the application real quickly, and if Cometa or Linda, if you have any, or Corey, anybody has any input, we'll go over it, and then at the end of it, I'd like to vote on the application for the second round of ARPA funding, if we're all in agreement with it. And understanding that a part of that is the dates that we just laid out. So the April 27th through May 27th, and then the mail by date of June 10th. The meeting date we'll discuss later, but so just so that for the record, we have this all deliberated and approved before we start sending out any kind of letters.
You know what? I am challenged. I have to figure out how to, because when you edit a PDF, it edits it in sections, and that's what the problem is. It's how do I do this?
Can you edit it I have trouble with the PDF editor all the time because I have to use it all the time. But
all right, how about this? Hold on one second. You can imagine what I sound like when I'm all by myself. All right, so let's see. How's that? Okay,
perfect.
looks a little bit better.
Okay.
So,
Do you, if you just want to, for our benefit, just scroll down it and we'll and talk about, as you scroll down, talk about the changes we just went over. And if committed,
okay,
if you
so this
don't, if you
is
don't
that
like
one.
anything, or Corey, just speak up and we will
Yep.
go over it. So up top, we have she added second round and it says supported by ARPA funding. So scroll down to the next place where you made a change.
That's all the same. This
So we have
is
the
different.
applications for the second round of FY22 will be due by May 27th, 2022. And we still have the same instructions. Below that, we changed it to 2021 federal income tax must accompany your application.
Yes. Yeah. And then this area up here was changed a little bit.
Okay. So I'll just,
signed over to you in the town.
yeah, I'll just read that aloud. So funds will be dispersed based on need as the committee, as determined by the committee. The town cannot guarantee any disbursements in a given year if the donation fund is depleted. The award will be made to both you and the town of Easton, and the check will have to be signed over to the town of Easton so it can be deducted from your 2022 real estate tax bill. So is that, you were just discussing that where you said, we're saying you still believe that to be incorrect or be correct?
I think that is correct. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then the next change is the notification of the committee's decision will be mailed to all applicants on or about June 10th. And I think
I have a quick chime in
Yeah.
here. Can you scroll back up to the blurb about the check must be signed? So the individual would have to. Sorry, my daughter wanted to say something. So I love you too. So the check must be signed by the applicant. They still have to come in and sign it.
No, that's what I was thinking needed to be changed, but it doesn't.
Yes.
You know, having it, yes, it needs to be signed, but my stamp is the signature.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just worried. Again, I was just like, okay, but I mean, as long as it truly doesn't need, there's no action on the recipient's part. I think we're
Correct.
good. Okay.
If you want, I can make that more clear.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case.
I was trying to,
Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
no, I was just echoing what you said. I was trying to think of how we could make it more clear.
I mean, it might reduce phone calls to you by saying, hey, I see here I need to sign for my check.
Yeah.
What if we get rid of the words from have to be signed over to the town and we put
Applied to your
deposited by the town. So
Sure.
it'll be, the check will be deposited by the town so that it can be deducted from your 2022 real estate.
How about this? Retobbed.
Yeah, cool.
I like that.
Again, the amount of people who will probably read down this far and notice that, but you know,
Right.
you may get a few that, and I just, for my own understanding of the process, again, I just, when I saw that, I said, uh-oh, people
Yeah.
gonna come do something. Let's hope they can do it before July 1st or you know,
Right.
whatever. So,
Right.
but
Right.
good. All right. That looks much simpler. You know, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Any more discussion on the application from anybody or the
Might I-
timeline?
Did I miss? This is, you have an L in your name, right?
No,
No,
yeah,
I spelled that correctly. Okay, sorry.
yeah, you did.
Sorry about that. Okay. And I'll send I'll send the application along with the letter that we, whoever sends the letters out, which, is fine if it's me. Or if Corey, if you want to give me some labels, I'll send them out. I'll send everything out, or give me a list. Kathy's a real whiz at getting, doing labels from Excel lists.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
I can't, but
I
she
have
can.
I have my mailing list ready to go. I can just scrub them. for
Okay.
The ones
Okay.
that are the homeowners and just narrow it down, and then
Yep.
I'll coordinate with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to keep talking about the letter, but just to get this part in the books. So I move that we accept the application for the second round of applicants to distribute ARPA funds via the Taxation Aid Committee as drafted by Linda and as reviewed by us just now, with the dates and to adhere to those dates.
I second that.
Okay. Andrew Fleischer, yes.
Oh, Hawks, yes.
Omeda Mildred, yes.
Okay, great. So, all right, we can keep discussing. I just wanted to get that checked off, and that's great. So publicity and outreach for the application process. That's item 3 on the agenda. So I have my question about the letter first is, would that payment for that letter come out of our budget as the taxation?
No, you mean the postage?
Yeah, the postage, whatever costs associated.
No, that would just
Okay.
come out of real estate, postage, just general postage.
General, okay. And the letter, would you include an application in with the letter is what you were saying? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's good. On the letter you had sent, one thing I want to do with this whole publicity process is I feel like there are things that draw people's attention. I want to make the $1,400 front and center. So I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I was thinking a statement, something to the effect is you may be eligible for $1,400 to pay your property taxes. Bam. So that's just that, I think, is the thing to the phrase a phrase like that or something to that effect is what we should use to try and hook people in, to get them to read the rest of the letter, to read the Facebook post or the news article or whatever else we end up getting out there. But I just want that lead to be included in anything we do so that people pay attention. And it's not deceiving either, because you may be eligible, you may not be. So
Okay.
Or like find out if you're eligible to receive.
Find out if you're eligible. Yeah. We got to have some sort of.
Yeah. A vague statement that leaves the option for, because honestly, the $1,400, during ARPA funding, that's great. But, aside from that funding period, can't guarantee any certain amount, which is what it's in our application. No. But I think, find out if you could be eligible for up to $1,400 or whatever, however general way to put it.
I would make it specific in the rest of the language that it would be applied to the 2021 tax bill, and that it's from it's federal funds, right? So essentially what I'm saying is you say you may be eligible for up to $1,400 to pay your $1,400 of federal money to pay your 2021 tax.
This
year's
property
tax. 2022, right? Should be consistent. 2022 tax bill.
You want me to add a sentence to the beginning of the letter that,
Yeah.
I mean, I just was playing with words. You may be eligible to receive up to $1,400 to be paid towards your real estate taxes. It's just the first sentence and I bolded it.
I think that's
Yeah,
that's great.
the hook.
Yeah. To get them to read the rest of the letter.
Get them to open the thing is the
Right,
first challenge.
right.
A letter, an envelope addressed from the tax collector.
Right. Most of them will just throw it away.
Yeah, it might
Maybe
sit
like-
on their shelf for a month.
Hot pink envelopes or something. But no, I agree. The social media posts, that would be a great one. We could exercise our marketing skills and come up with some kind of way to.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, that's the headline, right? I mean, when we got
Yeah.
the news that we were doing this, I said, essentially, $1,400 of free money to pay your tax bill. That's
Yep.
the
Link
that's
the
takeaway.
application. Click here to
Yep.
click here to get a PDF of the application, and
Yep.
you can make it so simple. Yeah, no, that's good.
Let me so I apologize. I just briefly read the letter. So
Well, here, wait a minute. Let me just change it up a little bit. So,
yeah, you can share it again and we can take a look at it. I don't think we need to vote on something like this, but we can at least all give input.
and actually another change that I'm going to make is down here with me, I'll say, Linda Hawks for the Taxation Aid Committee. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could always be the signer too if you needed.
Like in parentheses, I'm trying to give you money, not collect it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
No, that looks good. I like the bold. It really just, that's the first thing that caught my eye looking at this.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
just reading it over right now to see if I have any other comments, and you can all do the same.
What I would do is perhaps,
Yeah, that's key.
And I know we're going to put this in the application itself, but I would like to put in the letter, applications are due by the 27th. That's another thing we need to be redundant on, I think.
Yeah.
whoops.
27th. You put the 17th. There you go.
Thank you. Want me to put everybody's name down here, or I don't mind. I mean, there's so few people that call, and actually, maybe if they have any questions, what they're going to be asking about is how it gets applied to the taxes. So it might be just as well for me, anyways. But
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with you having just your name. I think if it was going to be one person, I would say that should be Andrew, if anybody, but Andrew's not able to field a ton of calls about this.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I would be happy to field calls, but it's probably appropriate that they call the town. I'm fine with you signing it. I'm fine with signing it myself. Either is okay with me.
okay,
I don't mind if you want to put me down as like, if you need help filling out the application, they can contact me. And for questions about, specifics to applying, it's up to you. Or if you want to just start off, if you want to take them all, and then if someone needs help and, you know, you want to refer them to me, that's fine too. Thank you.
What's your official title, Corey?
Deputy Director, Health and Community Services.
Oh, is it just Director?
Yep, Health and Community Services at yeah, yep, that's good. 230-0690. Yeah, we got the
06.
090. That's good.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this letter? I don't think we need to vote on it. I think it looks good, and I totally support you guys sending it to whoever you can.
Okay.
And just I would be interested to know, just and for my own knowledge, is if I report this back to anybody, how many people we do send it to. I'd just be curious.
Yep.
That way we can, you know, eventually, I think once a year I'm supposed to go before the select board. So eventually I'll go before them and kind of explain what's happening. And if I can keep some sort of statistics on how we're reaching out to people and how it's going, I think that would be good.
Okay.
And so some of the, briefly, who are some of the targeted people? So you were going to send it to the 4 people who applied previously, correct?
So, yep. So, and coincidentally, at least 3 of them received exemptions anyways, also in fiscal year 22. So they would get a copy of the letter anyways. But for that 4th person who I don't think got any exemptions this year, I'll send it to that person as well. And then the rest of them are just people who got exemptions.
And then Corey, was yours a separate list, or was that also people who received assistance of a different kind? Or
Yeah, it's a separate list. Either clients that I work with regularly that I am aware of that are, you know, potentially eligible, or right, yeah, they're receiving other assistance, so I already know their income and asset criteria, so I know they're likely eligible. Yeah, I was wondering, maybe we can condense that letter down into a post for the town crier.
yeah, so that was my next.
But I was thinking,
Yep.
for the 4 people who got from the first round, do they still need to fill the applications because they already met the requirements? And is it just for them to show their interest in getting this one, or is it really necessary for them to fill the applications again?
I would be more than happy to call all 4 of them, not all 4 of them, but the 4 of them, and just tell them, look, this letter's coming. If you're interested, just sign the form and get it back to me. We'll review. I think we can use their other information. It's not that old.
Yeah, so the only problem is I want to treat everybody the same.
Okay.
Right. All applicants the same. So we just changed the application to say 2021 next year.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
So I think we should do our best to reach out to these people, but I would like to make it an active process, where they active on their part. I mean, because it's you know, it's tough because it's definitely, those are the people obviously that we want to give money to, and that are deserving. But I think because we're just doing this on behalf of the public, we have to treat everybody fairly, and not because these people applied before, show them any
Yep.
kind of preference.
Yep, I agree.
It should.
But
should
giving
be
them a
enough.
call, giving them a call, sending them a letter, I don't think shows them preference in the application process, right? It just, we're encouraging them to apply as we are everybody. I
Right.
want to encourage everybody.
Okay,
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on that, like this committee I use as a tool when I'm advising clients. And then Tracy, who is a new hire in my office, she's the benefits and grants navigator. This is one of the first things she looks for, eligibility for this program. So we're specifically pushing this to people who are struggling. So again, I agree. I don't think that shows any specific preference. It's just doing what we're supposed to do, outreaching.
Yeah. Yeah, all I will say is that I think that we, to keep it above board, is require at the least that everybody apply each
Yep.
time. Because I think there's just maybe a fine line there, but I don't think we're not crossing the line, in my opinion, by doing anything else that we've talked about. And by, certainly by asking people to apply or anything like that. So the other part that I was going to talk about is other ways to get the word out. So
before we move on to that, Andrew,
yeah,
I don't know anything about the social media. I'm not even sure. I think it's Mike Blanchard that takes care of it, but I've never.
That's what I was going to bring up. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna. That's fine. So, Mike Blanchard handles the town crier and the social media account, or at least he did a couple months ago.
So yeah, so right now we email town crier requests to Elizabeth Hag, who's the executive assistant.
Okay.
I can get you her email, or any of us could probably, Linda could forward it as well.
I haven't.
Okay, cool. So forward her town crier request. And then I had been messaging, especially things like this where it's money involved, things like that. I've been messaging it to Michael Blanchard, which I think is probably still a good idea in this case. And he'll let us know if it's supposed to go to someone else. I don't believe Elizabeth has taken over social media at this point, but I'm sure he'll let you know.
Do we want to, so I want that, I would happily do it all myself. But I'm pretty busy with my 9-to-5 job, and I don't want to get it buried. Corey, would you be willing to email Elizabeth?
I will.
A write-up for the town crier.
Sure.
And then I can message Mike about social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will mention to him, because we went through this conversation last fall, and he had told me that I am not required to, because I also want to let whatever local news outlets we have know. He told me that I'm not required to go through the administrator's office, but I would like to let him know that we're doing it, because I don't want to catch anybody off guard. So I will mention that to him when I do that, and I will probably draw something up myself and send it to them.
Are they free, like public service announcements? Are they free?
Yeah.
I mean, with not the town crier, but I know that is.
So,
but.
Yeah. So what I was planning on doing was essentially a press release. I don't think I have limited amount of exposure with this in my past years ago. I don't think we have to do it in a press release. I could probably just do it in a well-worded email, but I would just send it to the enterprise, the patch, wicked local, things like that. Anything else that I'm not thinking of. And then it's up to them if they decide to write a story on it.
Do a human interest story. Yep.
Yeah, it's up to
Yeah,
them if
I email the press regularly with like parades, different information I'm trying to put out.
okay.
Yeah, so I have some contacts for you when that time comes, and I usually just shoot them an email with the blurb, make it easy for them so they can copy and paste
Yeah.
and not misspell my name or something, so I just make it simple, and they usually take it, or like you said, sometimes it doesn't go anywhere. Like it was a World War II veteran turning 100 years old. They did a drive-by birthday party, so I'll shoot that off to the reporters that I have, and they did take on that, and I sent them pictures. They used it, so yeah, I think sometimes you can, and this especially, I think this is, if they have room for it, we catch them early on in the day or the week, whatever it is, they'll probably take advantage of posting that.
Yeah, I would hope so. Our last announcement only really got picked up on Wicked Local as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
So, but better than nothing. And I, I did a little social media outreach where I, with our social media posts, I shared it to everything and anyone I could think of. But I also I messaged some local officials and asked them to share it, and they were willing to do it. So, it's things like that, just trying to spread it around. So yeah, Corey, if you could send me the distribution list or the email addresses and that you have, I will mention it to Mike in case he wants to see it first. I'm totally fine with that. The only reason I'm going to send it myself is out of speed. I just want to I want to get this going. So I'm just going to draft it myself.
Yeah.
I might ask one of you to look at it or something to make sure I didn't misspell anything, but then we can just get moving on it. What was I going to say next? But I think that's pretty much all we have at our disposal as far as I know. But if anybody knows anyone or has any ideas, I'm open to taking them. So I'll handle the social media part of things. Linda will handle the letter, and then Corey can reach out to Elizabeth on the town crier.
So I plan on just condensing down that letter. Is that agreeable with everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I trust your judgment on it. Yeah,
okay.
just you know what the bullet points are, as long as the dates are in there and a link to the.
Do you do any social media stuff yourself, Cometta?
Yeah, I do share the post, the Facebook post.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it. I don't have an Instagram account or Twitter or anything like that, but I rarely go on Facebook.
Yeah, I think so I emailed our state rep last time, or I messaged our state rep last time and let them know what we're doing. And I think they put it in their newsletter, and they shared the post. So
Nice.
it's little things like that. I try, and maybe you guys can do the same. I tried to think of people who have bigger outreach than I do, and who have the same interest, interest that we do in spreading the word. So I don't personally know any members of the select board or anything like that, but if there's anybody you can think of, either let them know yourself or I can reach out to them or something. It's really word of mouth is probably our best. Word of mouth and social media is probably our best way of reaching people. So I thought of one more thing for you, Corey. So on the, I just have pulled up here the town website with our link.
Mhm.
So can you take the application that Linda just sent, or that we all just approved?
Want me
and
to send it around?
Yeah, please send it around. And make sure a copy of that goes to Kelly so that she can include it in the record. But if you could update the link on the
Okay, yep.
website, and then just put something, same thing, just something that says the second round of applications, click here to apply for the second round of applications. And that's pretty much it, because I think in all of these things, I'll probably reference the website to get the application. So we'll just make sure that the new application is there.
Yeah, good thinking. So update the website with new link and new application, and obviously update the verbiage on the website.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
it doesn't need to be crazy. Just say, just draw attention to the new application, and the dates and everything. The dates and everything are on the new application, so that's good.
Okay. Will do.
All right. Any other discussion in general, either on this item or other items? All right, so let's talk about our next meeting. I threw out the date of
June 2nd, I think.
June 2nd at 5:30. Cometa, I know you've had conflicts before, but I see you here tonight. Would June 2nd work for you?
Yeah. June 2nd is fine.
Okay. Does that work for you, Linda and Corey?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Okay, so that's the next meeting. Corey, if you could send out all the stuff that accompanies that. And hopefully the other two members can attend, and if not, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And that meeting will be to approve applications. So
Yes.
very exciting.
And as soon as I get the group of them, I'll send them around.
Yeah.
So real quick, just to verify, so I'm gonna have Kelly do this one. June 2nd at 5:30 p.m. That's our meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we will need an executive session similar to last time.
Okay.
And I don't know that we'll have any public and anything to discuss in the normal session. We'll probably just vote on the applications, but I don't know, maybe I'll think of something by then.
Okay. Yeah, just send agenda items, proposed agenda items in the group, and in that group email.
Yeah.
And we'll get them on there. And yeah, I mean, at the very least, it'll just be a motion to enter into executive session.
Yeah, that'll be it for now. We'll probably want to discuss our next round
Yeah.
a little bit. But other than that, that'll be the main purpose.
Okay.
All right.
I will want to, by June, we will want to
we'll want to talk about a flyer for next year,
an
right?
insert, and come to think of it, those will be mailed out. Okay, so that I'll have time. We'll just have enough time because those will be mailed out right before July 1st. So they'll be over to the printer right after our meeting. So we can talk about that at the next meeting.
Okay. Yeah. So Corey, while we're just talking about it, could you add that as a topic? Just
How do you want me to,
um,
new flyer?
flyer for next mailing, something like that.
Okay. Got it.
All right. So I move that we adjourn today's meeting. It's 6:40.
I second that motion.
All right. All those in favor? Well, Andrew Fleischer, yes.
Fox, yes.
Commander, yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. That was a great and productive meeting. So
Yeah.
we'll see you all in June.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.